BMW 228i Grand Coupe, courtesy of Apple BMW in York, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in this one today because this is a very good looking car in my personal opinion. It is priced well as well. This thing actually starts in the mid $30,000 range, which is quite remarkable for a BMW at least. But also there are a couple new options for the 2022 model year as well. And so ultimately in this video, I will be going over them, as well as acceleration, braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. So MSRP for the 228i Grand Coupe will start at $35,700. Pretty good. But xDrive, being the all-wheel drive system, is available. That is going to bump that up to $37,700. Regardless of which configuration that you go with, though, the power plant on this little beast is going to be the same. Powering this thing is a 2-liter twin-power turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, putting out 228 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, 258 pound-feet of torque, coming in at approximately 1400 RPM. Power sent to front wheels or all wheels through an 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which you guys know we will be testing out here in a little bit. 0 to 60 time is going to differ between the front wheel drive and the all-wheel drive. Front wheel drive is going to come in at approximately 6.3 seconds. All-wheel drive is slightly quicker, coming in at 6 seconds flat. MPG numbers again are going to differ. 24 in the city, 34 on the highway for the front wheel drive, 23 in the city, 33 on the highway for the all-wheel drive. So the all-wheel drive is going to be quicker, and MPGs are only going to drop by 1. Therefore, I would go with the all-wheel drive if I were to get this one. But anyways, taking premium unleaded fuel bump. So before we do that acceleration or paddle shifter test here in the 228i, I wanted to mention to you guys the drive modes. Drive mode buttons are located just to the left of the shifter. They will include Eco, Pro, Comfort, and Sport, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity then as well. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the paddle shifters here to the test, and let's see how quickly these things are going to react for us here. All right, bit of a rolling start. Let's turn. Quick. And it's raining. Quick, insanely quick, as expected. I've tested so many paddle shifters in BMWs and they never fail me. They are always instantaneous, so huge fan of that. Definitely not gonna have any issues. It's gonna be quite a fun car to drive when you put it in those paddle shifters, which you can't always say. But anyways, to get that full control to the 228i, I'm just gonna slide the shifter back to the right. Having said that, let's find yet another straightaway and let's put the acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly this thing is going to get us up to speed. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Turbo lag. It's quick though. Yeah, it's quick though. Little bit of turbo lag at the beginning, if I'm being completely honest, but once that kicked in, it's freaking quick. I definitely don't mind that. Now, I will say there is a more powerful version, an M version of this car, which I'm not going to touch on in this video because that is its own review in itself. But having said that, this thing is still plenty quick. You're definitely not going to have any issues emerging onto the highway. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So as expected, you will find 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes coming standard on this thing. 60 to 0 stopping distance comes in at 113 feet. Let's test that out. Feels great. Honestly, the braking feel is on the firmer side of things, which I can appreciate in a car like this. It's more of a fun to drive car, so definitely digging the braking feel on the 228i. Instantly brings you to a stop, so no issues there whatsoever. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a double pivot spring and strut type front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, twin tube gas pressurized shock absorbers, and actually one of those new options for the 2022 model year is going to be the M Sport with dynamic handling package. That goes for $4,950. So there's going to be the M Sport package, and then there's going to be the M Sport with dynamic handling package. So there are two separate options, but essentially what that dynamic handling package is going to do is add an adaptive damping suspension, meaning it's going to monitor each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but also tightening up the suspension during heavy cornering, giving you better handling as well. So giving you the best of both worlds. So I am always a fan of those types of suspensions. Whenever they are available, I would always recommend getting them because you can tell the difference between the two. But having said that, ride quality has been 100% on point in the 228i today. Definitely one of the smoother rides I've experienced in quite a while, which is odd for me to say considering the size of this vehicle. Typically in more compact cars, you get a much firmer ride, but this thing rides like a BMW. So I actually love it, and I'm quite surprised that it has this smooth of a ride, even with it being a BMW, because again, the size of the vehicle. But anyways, steering feel is wonderful as well. You can instantly tell the difference depending upon which drive mode that you put it in. If you want a looser steering feel, go ahead and put it in comfort. If you want a heavier steering feel, go ahead and put it in sport. And the 10-2 grips, because we have the M Sport package today, are mammoth, as they always are in BMW. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about BMWs as well. These 10-2 grips give you such a better feeling of being in control and a better feeling of the handling characteristics in this car overall. So I am a huge fan of those 10-2 grips. Anyways, cabin noise, again, 100% perfectly fine. Definitely a very serene cabin here in the 228i. And touching on visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back. Typically in smaller cars like this one, definitely not going to have any issues there. And rain sensing windshield wipers also do come standard on this thing as well. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2022 BMW 228i Grand Coupe. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2022 BMW 228i Grand Coupe, finished in skyscraper gray metallic, in case anyone was curious of our exterior paint color here. By the way, that paint color is a $550 option if you wanted to go that route. But anyways, let's go ahead and start up front on the 228i here. Active kidney front grille, meaning those shutters will open and close dependent upon engine cooling that is needed at any given time. You do have gloss black vertical slats across the center there, of course, and chrome surrounds typically will come standard. However, with the M Sport, you do have that option for gloss black surrounds as well, and those gloss black surrounds continue all around the front of the vehicle, the side, and basically everywhere. So anyway, speaking of that M Sport package, that does give you a completely revised front fascia, much more aggressive look, many more gloss black accents as well, like I was saying. Okay, so anybody was curious what that little black thing is just on the bottom portion of that front end there, that is going to be the adaptive cruise control sensor. You do have front air curtains helping direct air around the wheel and tire combination to the sides there. Definitely love that. Speaking of to the sides, LED headlights do come standard on the 228i with LED daytime running lights. Of course, you get the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, these headlights will turn on automatically for you there. Automatic high beams also come standard, meaning if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to then automatically bump it back up to high beams. So definitely a very convenient feature there. And actually, if you go with the Premium 2 package, which by the way goes for $2,150, that gives you an adaptive front lighting system, meaning when you're going around a bend at night, those headlights are going to swivel based on the direction of your steering angle, better help illuminating what is around that bend. So that is definitely a very nice feature as well. And overall, I do like the M Sport look up front. I prefer it to the non-M Sport look. That's just my personal preference, but that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the 228i Grand Coupe, satin aluminum window surrounds do come standard. However, again, since we have the M Sport, we got some gloss black window surrounds, which will look plenty good on the side there. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored, power adjustable side mirrors. They are heated. They come with LED integrated turn signals, and they are power folding as well. So all of that comes standard. That is pretty nice. You don't always get that power folding feature coming standard, even on luxury vehicles. So I do want to mention that. But anyways, taking a look down at the wheel configuration, 17-inch double 5-spoke alloys coming standard. However, those M Sport packages are going to bump that up to 18-inch M-specific alloys. So did want to mention that as well. And there are some blue brake calipers, since we're looking at the wheels here. Behind those wheels, there are some blue brake calipers available with the M Sport packages there too. But anyways, pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of this one, body colored shark fin and antenna all the way to the top. There is a center high mount stop lamp also coming standard. There is also a rear spoiler available. We do have that. That looks plenty good back there. Gloss black accents tying together the two taillights if you go with one of the M Sports. Otherwise, you're going to get some satin aluminum trim there. To the sides, LED taillights do come standard across the board. And just below it all, with that M Sport dynamic handling package, you will get a very large gloss black rear diffuser. Then to the sides, dual exhaust outlets with chrome tips. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. All right, so now since we are around back of the 228i, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, there is a button on the key fob, there is a button on the driver's side door, and of course there's a button on the trunk itself as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in an even 12 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there are some levers located in that trunk because there is a 40-20-40 split, meaning those rear seats do fold down, bumping that up quite substantially. As far as cargo lighting goes, it's actually LED cargo lighting, which you don't always find, which is pretty cool to see. There's a little bit of netted storage there to the right, and also there is a decent amount of in-floor storage if you lift up underneath of that cargo floor as well. You definitely don't always get that in cars. You usually get it in SUVs, but it's actually a decent amount. I was kind of surprised there. And you get a grocery bag hook. You never get that in sedans. You usually get that in SUVs. So a lot of SUV-like features found in that cargo area, which quite honestly kind of impressed me. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the rear legroom. That is going to come in at 34.4 inches. So for reference, I mean even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had sitting behind my own driving position there. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard. There is rear ventilation also coming standard, and 2 phone charging ports just underneath of that rear ventilation as well. Then make our way to the front seats. Power adjustable front seats do come standard with 2-way power adjustable side bolsters. That's something BMW does, and no other manufacturers really do that, where it comes standard at least, and giving you that power adjustable side bolsters. It definitely hugs you in place a heck of a lot better, especially if you plan on taking turns a little bit quicker. So was a huge fan of that. And of course with the M Sport package, that does give you better bolstered seats in general as well. You do get memory settings for up to 2 different drivers. That actually comes standard on the 228i Grand Coupe, so that's pretty cool. Sensitech upholstery is going to come standard. However, Dakota leather is optional for an additional $1,450, and we do have that option. You are looking at magma red Dakota leather, in case anybody wanted the exact color. So that is what that looks like. I like it. But anyways, heated front seats and heated steering wheel comes part of a package for $550 if you wanted those heated front seats. Overall seating was 100% plenty comfortable with the power lumbar support, with the adjustable side bolsters. Really, it doesn't get a whole lot better when it comes to seat comfort than this. Then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped. Heated steering wheel is going to be optional, as I just mentioned. And if you go with one of those M Sport packages, you will get an M specific steering wheel, meaning you get the little M logo at the bottom portion of the steering wheel, and also those thicker 10-2 grips, giving you that better feeling of being in control, at least in my personal opinion. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. Essentially, all of your buttons are located on the one side of the key. If you go with the M Sport packages, you will get those M colors on the side of the key, but lock is going to be the BMW logo, and then you got unlock and that button to pop the rear trunk there. And you do get a remote start via the BMW app if you wanted to go that route, but essentially it's all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just to the left of the shifter. And so, but then once started up, this is pretty cool, you guys. 8.8-inch digital gauge cluster comes standard on the 228i Grand Coupe. That is pretty cool, because you didn't always get that in the past with BMWs. You usually get the analog gauges standard. But anyways, another one of those new options for 2022 though is navigation integration into that digital gauge cluster. That goes for $600, and that is now newly available for the 2022 model year. Also, another thing I like about the gauges is when you adjust the driving modes, it's going to change the color. So if I were to put it in Sport, it's going to give me a lot of red hues. If I were to put it in Eco Pro, it's going to give me a lot of blue hues. And if I were to put it in Comfort, it's kind of a reddish orange, which honestly matches our seats pretty darn good. So, and of course, you got how many miles you have left until you hit empty, outside temperature, the list goes on. So pretty much everything you could possibly want on the digital gauges up there. But now let's go ahead and take a look at overall interior quality. There is going to be a panoramic moonroof that goes for $1,350, so the rear passengers can have their own little moonroof back there as well. Universal garage door opener goes for $200, and that comes with a frameless rear view mirror, but by the way, that's for up to 3 different garage doors there. Anthracite headliner does come standard illuminated Berlin trim. I like that as well. I believe that's probably the carbon fiber-ish look, although it's not carbon fiber, of course, found on the doors, as well as just underneath of the infotainment screen there. Auto dimming rear view mirror comes standard, along with the auto dimming driver's side mirror that comes standard again. Definitely don't always get that even on luxury vehicles. Multi-zone climate control coming standard. Ambient lighting goes for $250 if you wanted to go that route. Just in front of the shifter, you have a space to put your cell phone. You have dual cup holders, a 12-volt power outlet, and a USB charging port. Behind the shifter, you're going to find an electromechanical parking brake, and within the center armrest, very little bit of storage, but you do have a phone charging port actually in there as well. And overall, I'm definitely a big fan of the interior quality. It's honestly, it's perfectly fine for me. Got some heavy duty floor mats in this thing as well, which are probably an option, but they look pretty good. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. 8.8-inch color touchscreen display, of course, to match the 8.8-inch digital gauge cluster. Anyways, to adjust what is on the infotainment screen, it is a touchscreen, like I said, but you do have a circular dial and buttons just to the right of the shifter. That's another way. It is voice activated, and then gesture control is available for $190, which is an amazing option. You essentially could turn up and down the radio by just making a circular motion, either clockwise or counterclockwise. There's so many different things you can do with gesture control, and I feel like I try to do that in every vehicle I review now because I just love that option. But anyways, Bluetooth and audio streaming coming standard, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, factory navigation system with over-the-air updates coming standard. I love that. You can check out some of your car statistics. You can adjust your ambient lighting up there if you were to go with that package at least. So for some reason we have blue ambient lighting on. I'm going to go ahead and switch that to orange so it matches our seats perfectly. So we'll do that. Of course, you can check out your radio information up there as well. So by the way, the standard sound system is going to be a 10-speaker hi-fi sound system. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Honestly, guys, for a 10-speaker sound system, that feels so much better than a 10-speaker sound system. I've tested Harman Kardon sound systems on other vehicles that basically sound the same as this 10-speaker sound system on this BMW 228i. So that sound system was perfectly fine. You were definitely not going to have any issues with that sound system. And I think why is because of the size of the vehicle. It's really not all that big. So 10 speakers for the size of the 228i, it's 100% perfectly fine. But last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put this thing in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so to start, IIHS top safety pick. Believe it or not, you don't always get that in vehicles of this size. So I was definitely a big fan to see that. Front side curtain airbags do come standard, driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, front and rear parking sensors, frontal collision warning, blind spot detection, lane departure warning, and speed limit recognition then as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts of this thing, excellent driving dynamics. I'm just going to put it that way because really the acceleration was great, the braking was great, the handling was amazing. So overall, very fun car to drive. IIHS top safety pick. Again, I didn't expect that. That pretty much says it all right there when it comes to safety. So big fan of that as well. Fun exterior design. I actually like the exterior design, believe it or not. I know it's kind of 50-50 with people, but me personally, I'm a big fan of it. Digital gauge cluster coming standard. I like that BMW is starting to do that as well. Also a fan of the ambient lighting. If I were to have any constructive criticism whatsoever, there's just a slight bit of turbo lag when you first hit the gas. But other than that, this thing is definitely up my alley, and overall I was a big fan. But let me know what you guys think of the new 228i Grand Coupe in the comments section below.